Thank you for watching. This is my Axial SCX10 version 2. Let's go over the chassis really quick. I just put this thing together and it still needs some finishing up, so I still need to do all of the electronics. But that's not what I want to do in this video. In this video I want to actually paint the body. You can tell there's a whole lot more ground clearance. If you are perhaps familiar with the SCX10 version 1, then they really did their homework on this one. And well, especially in the way that these drive shafts approach the axles, there's a lot more ground clearance that they managed to achieve. Also, the angles are not that extreme with that low center of gravity transmission housing. Overall, it's a really well thought out crawler. So if you are in the market for a new crawler, this one, in my opinion at least, it's the one to get. Now, it doesn't just stop there, because they did their homework on this, but they also really did their homework on this. This is the Jeep Cherokee. I believe it's a year 2000 body. It's based off of the Casey Curry's full-scale Jeep. You get a ton of hard plastic items as well, like for example this grill, headlight clusters, mirrors, like a tailgate handle, door handles, all that stuff to make it look really scale. And it's unlike anything that I've seen so far in Lexan. So when it comes to those tiny details, just to set it apart, they managed to, I think, knock it out of the park. What I wanted to do to this body, I wanted to do a beer body for a really long time already. And I've been looking at Corona logos, Heineken logos, basically all of the beers that I really enjoy drinking. And I also came to the conclusion that there were already a ton of paint jobs out there with, for example, a Corona logo. Now, last month I was in Kansas, and I also was in Missouri when I visited Castle Creations. And when we were in Missouri, we visited this town called Weston. And I saw a logo over there that really caught my eye. We went and we visited this brewery, really cool bar, underground. Also a part of that brewery. So it's kind of like a cave system, and it's called the Weston Brewing Company, and you cannot miss it. The minute you drive into Weston and the minute you search for the bar is called O'Malley's. You will see a big building with a huge logo on the side, and especially the font of that logo, it really caught my eye. Now, usually I'm not into beer that is brewed by that is brewed by these tiny breweries, because 9 out of 10 times they really fucking suck. But in this case, they actually had some excellent beer, and the whole atmosphere inside the bar as well was just well, crazy nice. So I had an excellent time, and I just want to sort of have a souvenir of my visit over there. That's why I chose to go with the Weston Brewing Company, and to sort of alter their logos, put it on that body, and turn this into my beer body. So the bar is called O'Malley's. If you are there, if you're lucky, there's a guy performing over there. I put his name on the tailgate of the car. This is not a sponsored video or anything, just explaining my experience about one of the nicest bars that I've ever been to. There's this guy at O'Malley's. His name is Bob Reeder. He's a musician. He's been working there for, I think, almost 30 years. He's really passionate, and I got a weak spot for passionate people. Now, Bob is a really passionate musician, and not just that, he is also a specialist in American history, and he did a tour through the building, through that maze of caves, explaining what's what, how it was used back in the days, and I don't know, just giving a really good idea of what the building is about, and why it is the way it is. Now, I masked this body up with liquid mask. I used fast mask. It's the second time I'm using fast mask. In the past I've used Bitty Design, I've used Sign Strip, well, and right now fast mask. Really good masking, liquid masking. It doesn't stink like, for example, the Bitty Design did. Easy to apply. I applied 4 coats, and I did that just because I want to have a whole lot of detail in my cut work. So I have this logo sitting on the hood. You will go to a close-up. I altered this logo in Photoshop to make sure that I could also fit it over the sides. So that's what you see on both doors. And I'm going to start out with the lettering, just because there's so much detail work going on in the lettering that I don't want to lose track of anything. So I'm going to start out with this first. This is going to be a dark blue metallic. Then I'm going to peel the rest of the lettering, which is going to be silver. After that, I will continue on to the fender flares, or fenders, however you want to call it. Those are going to be black, and eventually I will fill in the background with what hopefully will turn out looking like beer. Anyway, I think enough yip yap for right now. You will perhaps see a couple of shots of me peeling that first layer, because I already went ahead and did that. That's quite a boring and lengthy process, so I won't go into that all too much. Just make sure that you actually make all of your cuts, that you peel what you want to peel, and then plan ahead. Make sure that you know exactly what to do and when to do it. For me right now, it's that dark blue metallic. Well, so far so good. The first coat is on, so I faded a dark blue metallic to a regular blue metallic. You can't really see that right now, but I plan to do the silver in a bit of a fading as well. After that I peeled all the lettering. Really boring, but it needs to be done. If you do plan your paint scheme like this, it's not a lot of work to peel it, and it goes quite quick. It's really easy. Just make sure that you keep track of everything. That's like the most important thing. Thin coats, let it sit for a tiny bit, start peeling, make sure that there's no stuff unpeeled that you still want to peel. Also on the back I did the lettering over there. I faded, God, what was it? I think a fluorescent yellow to a metallic green, backed it a tiny bit. It came out quite nice, I think. For now, that silver is going to be my main priority. After that I'm going to peel all the window trims and everything that needs to be black. I've now peeled everything that I want to paint black, so that's all of the window trims and the fenders, and well, that's basically it. After that I only have one thing left to do, which is I got that license plate in the back it still needs some paint before I can go fill in that background. For now, black first. Let's get all that done. Then I know that all of the difficult parts are basically done. All of the black is on, the license plate is also on there. I went for a Missouri color, so a tiny bit of green in the bottom, then a light blue and then white. And a dark blue lettering, I think that is correct, if I recall it. Now I need to fill in the entire background, so I peeled off all the rest of my liquid mask. I'm going to throw this away, make sure that my table is completely cleaned off before continuing. Also going to rinse off all these areas a tiny bit. And then I'm going to focus on that background. Now the background, I want to make that appear like beer. This is just a test, it doesn't look perfect at all, but it does give you a tiny bit of an idea of what I want to do on that background. This is a scrap piece of Lexan. So if you wonder why I always tell you to hold on to your scrap pieces of Lexan, this is the reason. Like this, I don't have to test it on the actual body. I can just well, try and experiment a tiny bit on a scrap. See what I like, see what I need to alter, and then continue on from there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to submerge the body like this, upside down, and I'm going to fill it approximately halfway with water. Then I'm going to fill in that golden bit. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to use a bottle of Windex to spray some water on the sides, just so I get somewhat of like a liquid effect. After that, well, I need to do like a couple of stages. This is actually a fluorescent yellow, regular yellow, camel yellow, and a metallic orange, backed with a white. Then I'm going to drain everything. I'm going to spray some water on it again with some Windex, and then I want to do the foam. So I want to do the white then, and then I'm going to do it regular white. Then I'm going to pop all those bubbles. Going to back it with a bright silver, and hopefully it will turn out okay. Let's find out, because this for me as well is a first time painting beer, but I just think that it could be real fun.
Drinks and we'll watch him fade away. We're gonna watch him fade away. Pass me the bottle, so many to despair. Stick to my motto, everybody dead. It feels like a knife against my neck, letting out the blood. drinks and we'll watch them fade away. Watch them fade away. Pass me the bottle, my spirit's running low.
Okay, last couple of steps. I got some sleep in the meantime because it got really late yesterday. I think it was 4:30 before I actually went to bed. As you can tell, all the beer is done. One great tip that has always stuck to me when I was really young, when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, me and my dad, when we were on holidays, we would go out and we would draw stuff like churches, old train stations, stuff like that. And I always used to overcomplicate it. And my dad always told me, only draw what you can see. Same with this. If you just look at a picture of beer and you then just break it down in different colors, make sure that you have somewhat of an understanding of how you're going to do it, and you will see that eventually it will work out. I think this turned out quite okay. You can't really see it right now with all the overspray going on. What I'm going to do first right now is I'm going to smoke the rear windows, just because I want to make them appear a tiny bit darker. I'm also going to smoke the sun visor. I did this same trick on the Yeti Score more recently, and I think it turned out quite nice. So I'm going to do the same thing on this car. After that, I'm going to cut these fenders, because I want them to appear like they're armored. So I'm going to give those a coat of black on the outside as well, just to add some texture before eventually giving it a flat clear along with some of the beads around the windows. And I think that that will sort of complete it. So there's still a couple of steps to do, although it may look finished. Don't go rushing ahead in this final stage of the paint scheme, because especially those window trim bits and those little details, they really make all the difference. So just take your time, stay patient, stay focused, have another coffee, you know, just if you do tend to lose your patience, just go look around for something else to do for a tiny bit and then get back to it, because this will wait.
Pour those drinks and we'll watch them fade away. Watch them fade away. Pass me the bottle, my spirit's running low. Start up the slaughter, there's nowhere left to go. It feels like a gun against my head, blowing out my brains, killing out my pain. With the vultures picking at the dead, there's nothing left to get. It will never be the same. Pour those drinks and we'll watch them fade away. We're gonna 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 watch them fade away. Watch him fade away.
Well, that's that, how to paint beer. I think it turned out really nice. I'm really satisfied with the results, so that's cool as well for once. There's not a lot of fuck ups in this body. The black on the outside that I use, that's something that usually I don't do, but I'm really happy with the way that turned out as well. It gives it a tiny bit of extra texture before applying that flat clear. Again, pay some attention to your window trims. It's only a couple minutes of work, one extra step in completing your car, and it will make all the difference in making it look good out on the trails. Now, this is everything that you see is included in the kit. So that means including the wing mirrors, including the door handles, including the tailgate handle, the front grille, those headlight clusters, that roof rack. All this stuff is what you find in the Axial SCX10 version 2 builder's kit. Especially the roof rack, that's sort of unheard of that they include that right from the start. Really cool item. I think it looks really nice. It does require something like a light bar, and I think that the car could really do with an interior. Now the interior, there's a couple of different options there. I've seen I'm That Guy, if you know him from the forums. He did a really cool job in putting a bomber interior in his. I also know that Proline has an interior for the Cherokee bodies, so I may go that route. I'm not sure yet, I just know that it needs something. I didn't want to go limo black tint on all those windows, just because I think that looks a bit crappy, especially on a scale truck like this. Let's see, well, apart from all the flat coats that I did on the outside, after I peeled the clear overspray film, I was actually really surprised to see how well the beer effect has turned out. So again, just have a look at a picture. If you want to create something, see if you can break it down into something that is really simple and easy to replicate. In this case with the beer, the foam, if you look at a picture of foam, it appears to be white with like silver bubbles in it. And well, you can tell, I hope, from this body that you don't need an expensive airbrush set or a plotter to replicate those type of effects. In the bottom as well, with all those colors, it's just a matter of getting really creative and seeing what you can come up with. And if you don't succeed on the first run, then I'm pretty sure that you can find another body that you can mess around with a tiny bit. On the back you see the Bob Reader live music logo. I think that turned out pretty cool as well in the green Irish color. Put a tiny HemiStorm license plate on there. I ditched the original stickers for the taillights, just because I hate stickers. I did leave these kind of transparent, so if I do find something like a light cluster, for example, I can install that and make it look even more scale. Well, I think that concludes it. Don't forget, just get creative, try new stuff, no shame in failing, and just have fun, because there's such a lot possible with simple stuff, all these simple materials, and you can come up with something that I think looks cool. If you do find yourself in Weston, Missouri, do yourself a huge favor, check out the O'Malley's bar. If you're really lucky, Bob is there. Again, I had an amazing time over there, and they make some great beer. And again, this is not sponsored, this is just my tourism advice to you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. If your friends are perhaps looking for some new painting techniques, then share this video with them. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. No GoFundMe bullshit on this channel. And if you want to be ahead of what I'm doing over here, Facebook, Instagram, and all that nonsense, links are in the description box. Also a link to the Axial SCX10 version 2, of course. And I'll even put a link in there to the bar. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Take care, have fun painting, come up with new shit, okay? Bye bye.
Back on.